I did not have a shopping list. I shopped with a budget. Anything that was not within my budget did not come home with me. Back when I was a student, minimum wage in New Zealand was around $14 and change. Everything, and I mean everything, felt incredibly expensive. So expensive, my flatmates and I, who were international students at the time, and we really felt the pinch of a tight economy. Now things seem even more costly, even more expensive. Bread, petrol, fruits and vegetables, public transport, rice, beans, rice, everything has skyrocketed. Don't even get me started with the cost of eggs, fresh produce, or butter. Back then, expenses were so high that I couldn't afford many things. Definitely could not afford butter on my own. We had to go in on it together with my flatmates, or fruits or things like that. I had to chip in with my flatmates. I did not have a shopping list. I shopped with a budget. Anything that was not within my budget did not come home with me. I didn't have to go into the shops with a list, buy this and buy that. No, I went into the shops with X amount of money. That's it. The minimum wage then, which was what I was making, was around $14. The minimum wage now is about $23. Yes, things were pricey then, things are pricey now. Rent was a nightmare then. It is utterly outrageous now. Still expensive, and it doesn't look like it's going to go down anytime soon. I am sharing all of this with you because if you are a minimum wage earner today with little to no support, and it looks like things might not change anytime soon, this video might offer some helpful tips to you. While I earned minimum wage, I still managed to save some money, do some traveling to go visit my family. Obviously, I could not afford to travel the world. I could buy the things I could afford, and I could funnel my savings into things that I wanted to do or wanted to own. I was also able to save up for a car and pay it off. I was also able to save some money for the deposit, the bond deposit money for my next place that I was moving into. I was able to do a few things. Not a lot of things, but a few things. Today I want to share some of these specific strategies that have helped me manage my finances better when I was making minimum wage. And I reckon that they will apply to you today. Here we go. Number one, treat your budget as if it is your lifeline, because it is. You've got to track every single amount that comes into your bank account. Every single amount. You need to know where your money is coming from. You need to know where your money is going. And then group your expenses into needs versus wants. The needs, of course, the housing, the food, healthcare, transportation, all of these are prioritized. Everything else, unfortunately, we cannot prioritize right now. Forget about the expensive apps. You don't need those. All you need is a sheet of paper or an Excel sheet if you've got a computer or a phone. I'm guessing you've got one since you're watching me today. But whatever it is that you choose, put these categories down and be very strict about it. Track your spending like a hawk. You need to know exactly what is happening with your money. If you are overspending in one area, cut back on all of those things immediately. You've got to stick to a structured budget because that will help you see all of the financial leaks that you have and ensure that you are making the best financial decisions for your current situation. Number two, once you have covered all of your essentials, housing, food, and all of these things that are the essentials, everything else that you make to the cent is going into savings. You're not going to think about going on a holiday right now. We don't have that kind of money, right? Any extra money you have that is not going towards the necessities, the essentials, is going straight into savings. $5 here, $40 there, because we know that $45 is better than $0 on every day that ends in a Y. Right? This habit makes savings a lot more intentional rather than an afterthought. Matter of fact, go a step further and consider automating your savings. You know exactly how much you're spending on rent, on food, on yada, yada, yada. Everything else is going immediately into a savings account that you cannot touch or that will cost you money to withdraw from. This makes it less tempting as you cannot spend what you can't see, right? You can't spend what you can't touch. I opted for an account that limited my number of withdrawals every single month. If I wanted to withdraw money from my account, I had two. My regular checking account and my savings account. That one cost me $3 to withdraw from it. I got one free withdrawal every month and that was it. That was it. Number 3, keeping busy. Look, keeping busy is so practical. I feel like we underestimate it. Keeping busy is a practical way to avoid unnecessary spending. Focus on your work and your studies and your hobbies. Hopefully they are low-cost ones, but spend time doing things and so that you're less tempted to spend money that you don't have. The little you have, you are going to save, and you're not going to just spend it on things because you are bored. Number 4, speaking of hobbies, you want to engage in low-cost/free hobbies. If a hobby is costing you money and you are making minimum wage, we need to do something about that. We do. Yes, we want to do things that enrich our lives, but we need them to not drain our wallet, especially right now. Whether it is volunteering or joining a community sports team, you know, free workshops and anything else that is free is what we want to do. So keep your entertainment really low. Number 5, live as close to work as possible. If you are studying, live as close to your university as possible. You want to reduce the transportation, traveling from home to work and work to home and all of these things. It may be more expensive to live closer to work, but you save on time and maybe you can spend that time working more hours, upskilling, you know, learning more skills that you can leverage in the future. If this living close to where you work is not an option, you can also consider carpooling with people around you and turn that into a business. Otherwise, catch public transport if available. Number 6, for at least 1 year, avoid buying things. Avoid buying stuff. Anything that you just buy for just because it's not something that you need to keep you alive, don't buy for a whole year. Try it, it works wonders. For me, I did not buy jewelry for a whole year. I did not buy accessories for a whole year. I just used what I had and saved money that way. These purchases, while they are enjoyable, it's nice to have. You know, you feel like you deserve these good things of life. Yes, you do, just not right now. Look, every item that you don't buy is money that you save and that you can save towards more significant goals, towards more significant objectives in the future. Number 7, for every non-essential item that you consider buying, ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, do I need it? Number 2, will I use it regularly? And number 3, is there a cheaper alternative that I have at home right now? Desperate times call for desperate measures. This may not feel the most enjoyable right now, but we need to drastically reduce any kind of frivolous spending so that we can focus on our savings, so that we can spend time buying our freedom back. One less purchase at a time. Number 8, evaluate the cost of owning a car. Look, if you don't already have a car, great, good for you. Maybe you don't get one just yet. There is all of the fees. Look, you've got to actually buy the car. Then there's petrol. Then there's insurance. Then there's maintenance. Then there's registration. You know, roadworthiness. There's so many different ways a car can drain money from you that you don't already have. If all of these expenses total up to more than 10 to 15 at the max % of your income, consider selling your car if you own one. And that will honestly be a very sound financial decision right now. Wait until you can actually afford a car and pay for it. Hopefully you pay cash for it and just pay it off. But until you can actually afford the ongoing cost of owning a car, please don't get one. Number 9, foster relationships that are supportive of where you currently are and where you are headed. Socialize minimally. You are not going to be a social butterfly in this stage of life. Obviously, the people that you live with, hopefully they are kind, great people, and hopefully you are able to do things together that do not cost too much money. But when you go out with people to, enjoy the day or whatever the case may be, set a budget for what it is you're going to consume when you go out, and communicate openly with the people that you're going with. Let them know that, look, this is what I'm going through, this is what I can afford, these are the places I cannot afford to go to. If you go to a place that costs you more than a whole day's salary and you eat that and you spend it in one meal, that may not be a very good idea, don't you think? So communicate with the people that you socialize with so that they know that this is where you are in life. Number 10, learn to live with less. This doesn't just apply to skipping out on the latest gadgets or apps or fashion or anything like that, but also creating a simpler life that is more easy to manage. So start by decluttering your home, or selling things that you no longer need, or donating things that you have but you just don't have the time to sell them, or whatever the reason is. This not only simplifies your life, but it provides a small boost to your savings if you're able to sell some things. And if you're not, simplify your life for simplicity's sake, so you don't have too many things to oversee, to manage in your home. Fewer possessions mean fewer items to mentally manage, fewer distractions, and so you spend less money on upkeep, you spend less money on maintenance, and you also spend less money on the accessories to the things that you have just bought for buying sake. Next, focus on saving for one major expense at a time. Whether you are saving for a cool set of headphones, right, or you're saving for a chef's knife, or you are saving for a car, or whatever it is, you're saving for an event that is happening in a year or two, whatever it is, write down your heart's desires and then pick the most urgent or the most meaningful to you and then save towards that. We don't want to spread our few dollars too thin, otherwise we will never reach any goal. We will never do anything for ourselves that we really want to do. So save for the one thing first, get that thing, that will even excite you. You feel motivated. You feel like, okay, I can manage my money and I can get the things that I want, right? And the only way to do that is by saving and following all of these strategies. So save up for one thing at a time. And once the thing is achieved, you can move on to the next item. If you want to ramp up your savings, the truth is you're going to need to make more money. It sucks to be making so little right now, but this does not have to be where life starts and ends. Do you know what I mean? But we have to make more money to increase our savings potential. In this video here, we discuss 7 job opportunities that you can apply for today, most of which require little to no experience. See you there.